right now I'm in a mindset I don't normally get into, or rather, it usually takes me quite a bit of effort to get into. It's this feeling of detachedness to everything that I usually have to work hours, weeks, or days to get to. But today, I wake up after brainstorming a lot yesterday and thinking to myself and talking to some people. Not probably the right person, at least. I know for a fact I'm not communicating properly with at least one person because they feel like a subversion. Like everything I try to think about them is wrong, and there's no right way to approach them, and I feel completely powerless around them. And I try and express this, but they either don't understand or I'm saying the wrong words every time. And so I try and either deal with it and just kind of go along, or try and explain, and things just don't come out right. So now I'm trying to distance, which proves difficult because in moments like right now, it's perfectly fine and easy. And then something happens. Something outside of my control, like them showing up without notice because nobody tells me anything. Or, I work for a week straight to try and get things under control. And then, I see them and things all go back to all the effort that was put in just vanishes. Where did the effort go? Who knows? And I don't know what to do. And I don't think there is a to-do about this. I think the answer is to try and be distant. But every time, or at least most of the time, if they notice that I'm being distant, then they want to understand why, and they want to get closer. But recently they haven't been. And I'm not sure how to feel about that. So I was thinking about having perhaps one last conversation before trying to shut myself off completely. And I'm struggling to even stand by the words that I would want to say, even in theory, in passing, because it feels like I won't even be able to take the words that I believe and say them because of how powerless they make me feel. And I feel like we're both manipulating each other at this point, to some extent. And I mean, they're just living, doing their own thing, living their best life. And that's fine. I wouldn't want anything but for them to be happy. I would hate for them to have to feel like they're indebted or imprisoned by my existence. So I would just walk away. And they don't ask for me back anymore. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. And it's the question of, okay, it doesn't matter what you think you should feel or do, but what do you do and what do you feel? I feel disrespected, misunderstood, misconstrued. Like every conversation we have is constantly misunderstanding each other. And I want to work towards an understanding, and it seems like they don't. And then they don't know what they want, and then they give mixed messages because they don't know what they want. And then they chase something that ends up being what they think they want that isn't what they want. And then they come back. And that leaves me wondering what I'm supposed to be in the middle of all this. What do I feel? Powerless. A lack of agency. Like everything in my life lately is outside of my hands. Frustration with my inability to do anything. My job is I have to go X amount of time, X amount of days, or else I won't get a surgery that will allow me to then continue the job theoretically, or perhaps better my life in some other way, or who knows. And then I finally gotten to the point where I would be willing to go out and do things, and the world basically rejects that notion. It says, hey, you're ready to go out. Nobody is allowed to leave. And by the time that they are, you probably won't want this anymore. And that seems to be a running theme lately. Not understanding what I'm looking at and what I want and what I'm pursuing. I don't think anyone really knows what they want. I think they know what they want, and I think the act of pursuit is, more often than not, more of the reward than the actual end goal. And I feel like it's kind of fitting that I end up always wanting to have something that I either shouldn't or won't have. Because the things that I can have easily just don't seem worth it, because they're just handed to you. I've got a very complex, or I guess it's even actually quite simple, view of the world and set of desires, where my view is stilted, and then I get brief periods of ability to observe objectively. And in those times, I try and make the most of the moments, and then something happens that shocks me back out of it. This brief period, this brief window that I'm experiencing right now is one of those moments. Nothing has shocked me out of it yet, and I know that I can shock myself out of it, or there are any number of activities or people or things that could do the same. And it's like I can constantly make progress, and then instead of it being a set of stairs that I'm crafting, the stairs fall out from under me, and they become a slope instead. Or I fall down the stairs, hitting myself on every single step, and then try and climb back up, and then wonder why, when I'm trying to carry so many different objects, why I keep tripping when I drop one. It's madness, really. I'm aiming to purposely do things the hardest way imaginable, and getting slightly frustrated when things go awry. Well, duh. It's like the answer is wait. I don't want to wait. Well, the answer is too bad. I sincerely hope for this person's happiness. I don't know who, what, or why, or if anything can even make them happy at this point. I don't think they can even understand what happiness is. It feels like either they will not ever be happy because they'll have too many qualifiers, or something along those lines, or they'll just snap into happy one day and then probably snap back out just as quickly. And I think that they know that too, and that's why they're so trepidatious. And I also wonder how much of that is in accordance with how they're acting towards me. And everyone says that I should be distant, but I want to give it one last chance. Maybe that's me being greedy. Maybe that's me being too hopeful. Maybe, yeah, these different things. It can't focus on the maybes, can't focus on the whys, can't focus on the what-ifs. I can only focus on the action, and what I'm doing, and what we are doing, and realizing that we need to be better together.